Hello, boys and girls. This is for the people who are doing the Shino class at the Adamus Center in Dodgeville, Wisconsin, November 24th to December 1st. We're going to do a Shino experimental workshop. And I thought I would tell you a few things that you might want to try at home. If not, just come and bring your 50 pots so you don't have to worry. But I didn't want you to feel like you were being excluded because some of these need to be done ahead of time. So one thing is, first thing is that it's nice to use porcelain. So these are two samples of some, this is on porcelain and this is on stoneware, so it's much darker. It's just nice, but it's, I want you to know that if you use porcelain on some of them, it would be good, and maybe stoneware on some. Now, if you want to, you can use groggy clay for the stoneware. Another way is if you come over here, I'm going to take some, this is granite, this is called, it's chicken grit that you buy at the farm store. So you can just take some like about that much and then just wedge it into the clay. And so what I would do is just wedge it in, and then this I would throw with this. Now, that's going to be pretty gritty, and so it can be really like super hard on your hands. So sometimes I'm getting old, I don't like to do that. So sometimes I'll just throw my piece like this, and then I'll just come in here and like put some on there. And then sort of smash it in. And then I can do my forming like that, and I don't have to kill myself. Okay, that's the deal on that. The next thing is going to involve glazing. So once you've made your piece, what we've got here is, this is called a crackle Shino. This is Bruce's Crackle is the recipe right here. And if you can glaze your piece ahead of time, and then bisque fire it again to 1300 degrees. So I've done that here. I have glazed this bowl, poured it on there, one coat and two coats, and then you see how it cracks. Then I fire it to about 1300, and then I'm going to take this black. When we get to the center, we'll have this black. This is a velvet underglaze. We just paint it on. What it does is the glaze no longer rubs off when you wet it. And so what happens is you can get like black stain in these cracks like this. And so it's a nice effect. It's sort of like if you do it real thick, it would look like this. Okay? So if you like that, here's other samples of the Shino crack without anything rubbed in them. But I just wanted, this is just the plain Crackle Shino fired to cone 10 with nothing. You can see it's kind of dry. So sometimes I like to tell you ahead of time so you can do it. I have these other Shinos which are similar. It's called PD Crack is this one. And then this one's called Shino Slip. And those are the recipes. You'd have to mix them up and put them on there. But let me just tell you one main thing. If you notice the way this ball clay is 28 and 12. And this ball clay is 25 and 11, and this ball clay and EPK is 25 and 12. So that's the main feature that's causing the cracking. It's 37% clay in these recipes. Okay? So that's the deal. One other thing you can try is called, I took a Baymore Shino. Here's the recipe. It's 53 neff size, 16.5 ball clay. 12 EPK, and then 12.3 Minspar, 5 soda ash, and 1 red art. And then what I did is I took a cup of it and I mixed in 6 tablespoons of couscous. So what this is a burnout material. And so what happens here is you mix this up, you get it real thick, and then you're going to pour it onto your piece like this. You can either let that sit for a minute, which was in this case what this one was, or you can let it sit for 30 minutes, means it swells up more, gets much more thick. But anyway, so what you're going to do is pour that on there just like oatmeal. I wouldn't really do it on a food surface, but you can sort of do it on the outside of a pot. Then what's going to happen is you're going to bisque this again to 1300. And when you rub that off, you can see there's voids in there. Let me squeeze by you here a minute. These voids are in here. And then you can then paint this either a glaze or another slip on there when we get to Adamus Center. And then what that's going to do is allow you, I have to get this sponge here. What that's going to do, after you rub it in there, we'd let it dry. This isn't dry, but you'll get the idea. Is that we're going to rub it in and rub it off. And then it's going to remain, it'll remain in the cracks and stuff and gives you an interesting surface. Okay, so those are a couple things you can try when you're at home, is to do the granite into the, wedge it into the clay or smash it in, and then some of them you can put glaze on, let it crack, and then fire it to 1300, and then when you bring it, we'll be able to rub stuff in there. All right, well, I'm really looking forward to this workshop, and I hope to see you there.